How'd you like the energy on day 2?
Really good. But again, all the teams around the league, I didn't see any social media where there wasn't a great deal of energy and excitement. So I think what was more important, the energy was great, right? It's not like a quiet gym, so the energy was great. And it's giving yourself to your teammates, like really understanding that this group's got it for sure. Today our big focus was things that we didn't do well yesterday. Make sure that we're not saying the same things today.
Sure.
So we have new things today.
Great.
That we hope that we're not saying tomorrow. So.
What were some of the things from yesterday?
Just some of our fundamentals in our defense. Timely rotations. Jumping to the ball. All the basic stuff in building a foundation. In terms of like our non-negotiables, don't be late. Don't be late to your hit. Don't be late to your rotation. And so I just think getting used to it, like how we do it. So we just basically repeated some of yesterday's drills. They did a nice job.
When you give Bridget Kayla some time to rest, and you let those other players kind of play with the first team, does that kind of accelerate somebody like Carly's integration into what's going on?
Yeah, I think for sure she's a beneficiary of it. T's a beneficiary of it. There's no question about it. And we're getting more rested players.
How does Jessica look a little stronger than she did last time she was here? Does she look like a little different?
I thought so too. Not that she wasn't, working on those things when she was here. Having not seen her for a year, that did strike me. I thought physically she looked really good.
How different is it this training camp, having Courtney, T, obviously you know them now, whereas last year you were kind of getting to know your point guards. How different is that, just having that kind of relationship with them now?
Yeah, I think the starting place is much different. The starting place last year was like, okay, let's figure each other out here. So we've done a lot of figuring out, and so our starting place is much further along. This reminders of some of our play calling. It's funny how you can just sort of forget. Coaches too, but we can get further along much quicker.
And with a couple practices under your belt, what's it like having Waylon back in the gym, kind of directing traffic again?
For me, it's great. I can't imagine how the players feel. It's probably pretty incredible. She's exactly what we need in terms of her level of. There's a fine line, there's enthusiasm, but then there's also where she's getting after them because she knows exactly where they're supposed to be. When they don't do it, she lets them know, just like she did her teammates when she was playing. So it's great. It's great. Yep, she's adjusted very well.
Coach, this is the first off-season that Diamond was able to stay healthy enough to get a number of games in overseas.
That's right.
Playing for the same team that Lan played for a few years ago. Was that the sort of overseas winter season you were hoping to see from her?
No, for sure. I think it did a lot for her in terms of just mentally. Feeling good, feeling momentum. I'd have to think that, when you do well overseas and you have the momentum, it usually translates into what you're doing in the W.
Have you ever played in one group of 5 for an entire half of basketball?
I can appreciate. I have been accused of playing players to me, so I felt like I was cut from the same cloth. I might have done the same damn thing if I was in a win. I felt like what he was basically signaling, that was a must-win game for me.
Yeah.
And so you do what if it works out, great. Nobody questions it. Say, way to go. When you don't win, and Jaden McDaniels, has a play that was reminiscent of Rebecca Brunson. Don't let them run their action that they wrote up in the timeout. That play could be the difference between winning the series.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Obviously, Randall had a couple of great hustle plays too, but man, just fun to watch.
On draft night, you mentioned particularly both Lindsay and Rebecca being excited about getting Delia Daniels at that spot. Having her in here now for a couple of days and getting to work with them. What's it been like having her, and what have you seen from her?
She's a big-time pleaser, right? Like whatever you ask for, she is going to just really be persistent about providing it. She's got a quickness about her. She definitely has an understanding for the game. So I think everything that they saw in her. Obviously there's lots to learn. The biggest difference you go from college to pro, and I know, for some reason a lot of people think it's not different. It is. The pace at which things happen within a possession your ability to go from one possession to the next, do multiple things here, run to the other end, do multiple things there, come back, right? That's what chews up young players and spits them out, typically. You got to be able to play pick and roll defense. You got to be able to rotate to low defender. You got to get a rebound. You got to go sprint the floor, run the action, and remember all of that at a pace, right? And I think she's handled that pretty well.